Okay, so it is Saturday, January 30th, the beginning of week 3 of the downstairs bathroom renovation, and this is where we're starting. We're going to start tearing up the floor. So we're starting here. Now remember, we have about 5 layers to pick up before we can put our first layer down. And some fiddly bits to maneuver around. Good thing we weren't going to try and reuse this flooring. I suppose we could have, but nah.
Not now.
No. I mean, if we'd done everything under the house, rather than going from top down, I suppose we could have just, you know, lived with it, but that wasn't the plan. So, yeah, we're going from this, and then all of a sudden, okay, so we got half the floor out, and, you know, for all that conversation we had last week about what we need to build up to versus not, get a load of this. That right there is the joist that was underneath the wall we removed. And that right there is the joist we put in. And, of course, they're not at the same level because, well, none of this house is. But that joist is probably the lowest of, well, God, anything in this house, at least so far. And the bathroom joists are actually higher than it. So, looks like we'll be working with whatever the joist gives us, and then we'll just, we'll put a 2x4 or something on top of that joist, or shim it up somehow to bring it up to the level it needs to be. Because you never know what you're going to find until you get into it. Okay, so the plan is, as much as we can plan, is we're going to start by putting a 2x4 across this joist right here, which we're basing our assumptions on, but turns out to be the lowest of the bunch. So we're going to bring that up with a 2x4, which isn't quite 2 inches thick. And then the next one, we're going to shave down by 1/4 of an inch or so. The third one is actually our level point. That's what we're trying to base everything off of to meet, because it's more or less level with the floor joist we put in. And then the last two joists, we need to raise the first of the two up a 1/4 inch and the next one up a 1/2 inch. That's the plan. We'll see how it goes. Alright, so what's this week's tool of the week, Todd? What do you got there?
Tool of the week, we have a Black & Decker belt sander.
Okay, do you like have a model number or anything?
I don't have it in front of me. But
Okay, that's alright. We'll look it up.
Not important, so.
Okay.
But yes, this is what we use to shave down our joists that were a little bit too tall.
So, how did the Black & Decker belt sander handle for you today?
It worked. I think could have gotten a little bit better.
Okay.
With a different model, but.
Okay. Did it meet your needs?
It did what we needed it to. Yes.
Okay. Was there anything surprising about it?
No, nothing surprising.
So you said that when you were using it, though, that it was kind of hard to hold on to. It's a little.
Well, it had a little bit of a torn belt on one of those, which really kind of threw it off. So.
Right there. Okay, and that was
I put the other
because.
belts on it, worked fine.
And the tear was probably because we hit a nail.
Probably so. Yeah, there was probably a nail in there.
Okay.
I can remember. I think I saw where it was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. So, would you recommend the Black & Decker belt sander to the home renovation newbie?
Of all the belt sanders I've used, one of them. It worked for me. Next one I buy, if I need to, I'll probably go with a different model.
Okay.
It worked for what I needed it for today.
Now, aside from evening out the edges of the joists that you used it for today, what other things can you use the belt sander for?
Well, we will be using it probably on our wooden floors to scrape them down and refinish them.
Okay.
Get them nice and smooth before we put finish on.
Okay, and what other things do you usually use a belt sander for?
Sanding wood. Usually it's since it's a handheld one, it's usually used for floors and joists and those kind of things.
Okay. Anything else you want to add?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so in the course of staring at the joist for so long, and just as we were getting ready to trim the plywood for the subfloor, I started to notice that in that joist we were measuring everything off of, there's a small hole right there that's, knot or something, I don't know, and then a crack starting, kind of going along the whorl there. Yeah, right there. And as Todd was kind of like leaning on it, I was noticing that it was flexing a bit. Yeah, like that. And so I suggested that we sister the joist with another 2x4 to strengthen it so that we don't have to worry about the center of the floor getting all squishy on us. Now, of course, the better side to put the new, the sister joist is the opposite side, and there's an electrical wire running alongside it that's like held on by nails or something. And so now I've created another project for Todd because he has to pry all that up so that we can put the new board in. But so I'm really sorry about that, honey, but I think it's for the best. Because otherwise we just have to crawl under the house later and do it when that board eventually gets squishy on us. Okay, it is Sunday, January 31st, and not a tremendous amount, I won't say a lot, but not a tremendous amount has happened. Right now, earlier today, Todd sprayed in some of that expanding foam insulation into a couple of some problem areas, mostly in the corners and around, you know, underneath the window and stuff, just because, you know, when it was daylight, we could see daylight seeping through. That means air is getting through, and in some case, who knows what else. So, basically you spray it in, you wait for it to expand it dry, and then you trim down anything that gets a little farther than you want. And so that's what he's doing now. And then also, he spent part of the morning removing the braces and some other ill-placed items in the walls so that we can make room for our own better suited and better fit items. You know, more braces and the supports that we need for our room. Yeah, so that's it.
Nail gun is next, definitely on the list.
I'm tired of this manual shit.
My hand is.
Yeah. Well, I don't blame it.
Or my wrist, rather.
Yeah. Yes, we'll consider, you know, it's a medical necessity.
That's right.
At least before the next room, if not to finish this one. And that's where the light switch goes.
Light switch, yep. 2 light switches.
Only not forever, at least. Have you ordered the switchies?
Not yet.
Okay. Probably should.
Yep.
Before too long. Because eventually you're going to want to close up this wall.
Yes.
Sooner than later.
I can put switches in after the wall's closed up.
I know. But still.
Want switches.
Yeah. I want pretty switches.
Yeah.
I want pretty button switches.